It began like any other night. A cold evening in November, 1833. The skies were clear over the American East Coast. Farmers had gone to bed. Travelers rested in stagecoaches. Slaves lay in wooden cabins under the southern stars. Then, the sky exploded. What happened that night would become one of the most spectacular celestial events in recorded history, and for many who witnessed it, a sign from heaven. This is the story of the 1833 Leonid Meteor Storm. A night so astonishing, so terrifying, that it changed how Americans viewed the heavens and themselves. Just after midnight on November 13, 1833, thousands of shooting stars began to fall. Not a few, not dozens, but tens of thousands, every hour. Witnesses described it as a sky on fire. Trails of light rained down in every direction, north, south, east, west. Bright streaks, glowing bursts, silent flashes, more than 100,000 meteors per hour at its peak. It wasn't just a meteor shower, it was a meteor storm. People who had never even seen a telescope thought the world was ending. For many across the United States, especially in the rural South, this was more than a natural event. To them, it was the Day of Judgment. Slaves, in particular, interpreted the falling stars as a divine sign. They had been told for generations that the second coming of Christ would be preceded by signs in the sky. And now, the sky was breaking apart. In plantation journals, slaveholders recorded accounts of enslaved people praying, weeping, and singing spirituals. Many believed that freedom had finally come. For one enslaved child named Harriet, the moment was unforgettable. Years later, as a free woman, Harriet Tubman would recall how that night the stars fell like rain, and how it stirred something in her. Faith, fear, destiny. But it wasn't just enslaved people who felt shaken. Newspapers from New York to New Orleans printed wild headlines. Fire in the sky. A warning from the heavens. Is the end near? Churches filled with trembling citizens. Ministers gave urgent sermons. One preacher in Kentucky reportedly said, "If God speaks through the stars, then he is shouting tonight." In some places, people threw away their possessions, confessed old sins, begged for forgiveness. In others, scientists scrambled for answers, and that's where things got interesting. At the time, very little was understood about meteors. Many believed they were atmospheric, like lightning or clouds. Others thought they were spiritual phenomena. But after the 1833 storm, astronomers began to take the idea of meteor streams seriously. One scientist, Denison Olmsted of Yale University, studied the event closely and published a groundbreaking report. He theorized that the meteors originated from a celestial source, a specific point in space, and returned on a cycle. This would later be confirmed. The meteors came from the comet Tempel-Tuttle, and the Earth had passed through its debris field. For the first time, scientists began to understand where meteors came from and when they might return. So the night the stars fell also gave birth to modern meteor science. But its impact didn't stop at science. Artists painted it, poets wrote about it, preachers used it, abolitionists referenced it. And in 1861, when the Civil War began, many African Americans recalled that long-ago night, the one where it seemed the heavens had opened, as a moment when hope had first sparked. History is full of forgotten nights, forgotten signs, forgotten skies. But this one? It lit up the world. One night, one storm, and everything looked different. It reminds us that the stars aren't just distant lights. They are symbols, stories, triggers of awe. They can inspire fear, or wonder, or both. And sometimes they fall, not to destroy, but to awaken. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow for more stories from the edge of history, where truth meets wonder. Until next time, keep your eyes on the sky.